because we're going to just start our meeting formally right now. So basically an email was sent out to folks just reminding people to vote for the 5 priorities. We've got some people that responded, not a lot. So I just want to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity. So I'm just sharing the screen right now. Michael, I will be taking your 5 priorities before the end of this meeting while we're counting actually. So I'm just going to ask you to read them out and we're going to discuss it. So please refer to this email. And I just want you to be able to click on this survey. There's this link. It gives you up to 5 choices. And you get to choose from all those options that were in the document that we sent out weeks ago. So,
well, I voted on another link.
I think it's the same link. Okay. But if it's a different link, I'm gonna make sure. Okay. So what you do is you put your email, you put your name, and then you basically choose from your 5 top choices like this. You get 5 choices. You get 5 choices. Okay. So please choose your 5 top choices. If you want to know all of them, just move your cursor like this. You'll be able to see all the choices you can rank from. And this is actually from the document we put together. So just choose your top 5. Okay. So my first one, for example, is this. I'll click this. My second one is this. I'll click this, for example, whatever it is. So just do the selection and we're going to make sure that we follow up in the meeting as well.
I didn't vote that way. I just listed the number.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share the link to the survey in the chat so it's more accessible. So please look at the chat. If you haven't got the email, this is an easier way just to access it. Okay, you can click it on the chat.
I didn't vote that way, and 2 other people didn't either.
Yes, Lizette voted via email, 5 top choices. There was someone else that shared their top 5 choices in a different way on the form itself, actually. So we will be counting those votes as well. Tohida?
There are 3 of us. I just named them.
Oh, yeah. And you too, sorry, Jane. So I just want to make sure how you filled yours. And I'm going to take one from Michael as well. And what you can also do is you can tell me your choices at this meeting. Tohida?
Yes, Walid, I think there is 2 ways to do this through the, Google Doc form that you have just sent the, the survey, and also through the original document, what actually I did.
Yes.
So
by email?
Clarify that there are 2 ways to do it. One through the, the survey form that you have sent, and another way through the original Google Doc.
Correct. That is correct. So you can basically put it in the original document that was sent out or through the survey. Okay. So Lizette filled it out on the document, I believe. Okay.
I just want to note, I've tried to do this before, and it looks to me like in the document, you can't make 5 choices.
Joel, do you mind sharing your screen? Because I want to make sure that this is not a problem that everyone else is facing, because I just went through it myself.
And I saw when you were doing it, Waleed. I'm not sure if I'm not getting it or if there's something else. When one clicks, so I click on the first one here. See that?
Yeah.
Now I click on another one.
Go up. No. You click on the first one.
Yeah.
Then you go to this. They're the same questions. So you click on the first one. So whatever your top first priority is, go down. It's the same question. Choose your second one.
Oh, that's the piece that wasn't there before. Okay, got it. So that's important. Yeah. So you got to. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Very simple. Okay. Fatiha.
Hi, Waleed. So my question is: so 2 weeks ago, at the employments and economic developments meeting, I voted for like 5 priorities. I'm not sure if it's the same thing or I have to vote it
Same thing, but they're different priorities. So the employment and economic development table, Fatiha, has specific priorities, right, that were identified by members of that working group. We've also gone through that process here at community building, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
Choose your 5. I want you all now to take some time to choose your 5 while we're doing the introductions and starting off.
Okay.
So, Joel,
thank you so much.
Very welcome, Fatiha. Joel, go ahead. Let's start us off at 6:30 now. We want to end by 8.
Do you want to facilitate, Waleed? You can go ahead.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna zoom in here. Just give me 1 second.
If you want, I have the land acknowledgement ready.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Start us off with the land acknowledgement.
Okay, and then you can take over from there.
Ani, bonjour. Sarah Rockandishnakas. Shebenaning and Donjaba, Takaranto and Day. Takaranto, a Mohawk word. The place in the water where the trees are standing. The place where the fish weirs are. My dog and I spend a lot of time walking. It's my favorite way to move through this city. For me, it's a meditative action that isn't about negotiating bike lanes or public transit, but a time to slow down and really try to see the world around me. Concrete sidewalks, parking lots, now covering the rivers and trails that once flowed freely. The Petun, the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabeg, the Métis, the Mississaugas all made their homes here. And many other nations expanding beyond these groups traveled through for commerce and trade for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I think of the other First Peoples' languages and the names they had for this place. I think of the ancient trails covered by the pressures of settlement. The waterways and the moderate climate of the Great Lakes made it a perfect place to fish, hunt, grow food, gather medicines and seeds for horticultural development. Rich, fertile, and abundant, Turtle Island's Mesopotamia. Many First Peoples and their goods traveled from here all the way to the Mississippi and back. Whenever I travel somewhere new, I try to find out whose land I'm on, and I ask, who are the original occupants here? So for Indigenous peoples, land acknowledgements are not only to assert our sovereignty and treaty rights of today, but it's also a way for all peoples to feel more connected to a place. Davenport might be a street now, one I walk down regularly in my neighborhood, but it's not just another thoroughfare. For me, it's an ancient portage trail that holds Indigenous knowledge. They say the animals made the first trails that led them to water, and the people followed. I imagine the deer and the moose once made this trail, followed by the people carrying their birch bark canoes, carrying their goods to trade, and bringing stories to tell. Nations from all over Turtle Island met and traveled through this land. Many languages were spoken. Alliances and decisions were made. People from different nations met and intermarried. The dish with one spoon treaty was made. Takaranto was a meeting place and land made up of sophisticated and cosmopolitan peoples and cultures that I see reflected in the city today. I wonder, is it something in the land and the water? Land acknowledgements might seem like a small and simple gesture, but like many of our ways, they are intended to have more impact and hold more meaning than the words alone. If we pride ourselves on diversity and equality, shouldn't our story include Indigenous peoples? In this era of reconciliation, we need to share the truth first. And reimagine the narrative of this land and this city together.
Wonderful an acknowledgement. Welcome, folks. Thank you, Brother Abukar, for joining us. I'm just going to reshare the link to the survey. to just ensure that everyone has a chance to participate. Just as a quick reminder before we do our check-in question, and we're hoping to end by 8 o'clock, and I think we're gonna have ample time tonight to go through all the agenda. Our check-in question is, actually gonna put it here on the chat. It's, what's your favorite memory of Sunday in the Park? It's one of my favorite events so far. So please share that. And what we're gonna do is also encourage folks to vote for their 5 top priorities. So check-in question, your favorite memory of Sunday in the Park. And Brother Abukar, I'm just gonna quickly share something on the screen so you know what I'm talking about, so you can fully participate.
Okay, yeah.
So this email was sent earlier, but it's basically the link that I just shared in the chat. When you click this survey, you'll be asked to put your email address and your name, and then you'll be asked to choose your 5 top priorities. And the way you go about doing that is you select your first one from the following choices, all the choices that were in the document, and then numbered from 1 to priority 32. So choose one of the 32 priorities that we identified collectively. What's your top priority? Click on it. Okay, go to your second choice. What's your second choice? Choose it from the 32 and vote. Third choice, and etc. Okay, so that's how you're able to vote for the specific 5 priorities.
Well,
and we're going to go through actually those priorities just to ensure that everyone participates in this process, because it's very important. We're going to be sharing those 5 top priorities with city staff with regards to the upcoming funding cycle. Yes, Sarah Jane?
There were duplicates.
Well, I know, I can see all the responses, Sarah Jane. Yeah, so what I will do is we're going to be filling it on the same database, because if anyone wants to see the results of the 5 priorities, for transparency's sake, we'll be able to show those results.
No, I'm saying, Waleed, there were duplicate priorities. Like 23 and 19 are the same.
Okay, thanks for catching that. So if there, what we'll do is we'll make sure that we'll eliminate one of those from one of the options. Okay, but we'll see what are the 5 top priorities. Okay, there are a lot. There were 32 that were identified, and thanks for catching that. Okay, so I'm gonna ask folks for quickly to check in. Saleh, welcome to our meeting. You're the first. I'm gonna put you on the spot. What is your favorite memory of Sunday in the Park?
For me, it was the bingo, because I was doing the information in the information booth, and I remember one of the seniors keep coming for me like 3 times. When is the bingo time? When is the bingo time? And when Sarah bring the bingo in the table, she was so happy, and she called her friends. This was the moment for me, because actually I saw how she didn't care about the other games or the food or whatever. She was waiting for that for like since 12, you know. That was my moment. It was very nice.
Pass it on to someone else. That's our tradition. That's how you get to introduce someone else. So go ahead.
Next my screen is Joel. Joel, right?
Yep. Yeah, Joel. Thanks, Saleh. I only was able to be there for you know an hour or two near the end, and I would say, I mean, just hanging out with people. That's just, I could say that. And then also in terms of what was there at the event, I love the music. Love the music. So, and I will pass it on to Fatiha.
Thank you, Joel. My name is Fatiha, and I am volunteer coordinators for Regent Park Women's Social Circle. It's just a new group that's formed, I think, April or May. So group of women that meets weekly on Wednesdays at Daniel Spectrum. So I'm just happy to be here at this meeting. This is my first actually meeting with you guys. So yes, so my favorite, I would say food. I think the food for me, that's what I remember the most. And also like the culture and energy that's going on there. So I love it. Yeah.
Who are you going to pass it on to?
Oh, 1 second. Okay. Shana? Shana, are you there?
Yes, thank you. I'm here.
Thank you.
The part that I liked was the part where Walid said the community getting together and hugging each other. Although I wasn't at the Sunday in the park because I had to take my family to my mother's house, but I've seen the video and I really liked the part where, you know, everybody was just coming together and, you know, hugging each other and feeling good to, you know, all meet each other and get together, I guess.
Thank you for sharing that, Shana. Shana, you want to pass it on to someone else?
Sure, I'll pass it on to, did Sarah Jane go already?
I'm here. No, I didn't go.
Okay, I'll pass it on to you, Sarah Jane.
I have only been here 3 years, so I've only been to one outside Sunday in the park. I didn't go to this year's one because I'm avoiding crowds. But what I liked most my first year here was the food. Oh, there was so many different kinds of food that I've never seen before. So that's what I liked. And I'll pass it on to Dini.
Hello. My absolute favorite, first I'm Deanie Peters, community development worker for Regent Park Community Health Center. My favorite part of the event was how enthusiastic and engaged the children were. That just, you know, my highlight. They got excited. I've never seen kids getting excited about a raffle draw before for gift baskets like these kids. They were wonderful. But I noticed when I looked around, if there was something to do, they did it. You know, they were so engaged. So I really like that. And I'll pass to Miguel.
Thank you, Dini. I think the best part of Sunday in the Park was to help out Walid and Ibrahim at the end of the day and put things away. And, you know, a sense of accomplishment. Walid was really tired. I can feel it. And so was Ibrahim. So it was nice. I will pass it over to Brother Abukar. Abukar, are you there?
Yeah, Miguel, I was muted, so I just unmuted myself. Actually, I didn't get a chance to go because I had to go that day to Kitchener, so I didn't get a chance. But generally speaking, the Sunday in the park events, are a chance where community get together And that is, the memory I could remember. The music, the food, yeah, the engagement. That's these are the things that actually make me remember all the time. Although the last one I was unable to go because I had to go to Kitchener. Yeah, let me okay, let's see. I passed on to Zakir Hussain.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Thank you. Yes, yeah, I think something happened, technological default anyways.
We can hear you, Zakir.
Okay, so thank you, Abukar.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Abukar. Thank you, everyone. I'm really unfortunate. I have some other important thing to do, so I couldn't join Sunday in the park. But my wife with two younger daughters, they joined, and I heard from them. They really enjoyed everything, the food, the music, the gathering, and with whole community was together. And I missed it, but I feel and heard from others too that it was really a good initiative, and it should go again and again. So I want to pass to maybe, if not gone, Michael. Maybe the telephone probably is Michael. Michael, are you there? Then Masida.
Sure. My favorite part of Sunday in the Park was seeing folks after a very long time. So that was nice. Also, the entertainment was pretty great. I'll pass it on to, I don't know if Tawhida went. If not, Tawhida.
Thank Masida. Hi everyone, I am Tawhida Chaudhry from the neighborhood group. And the most favorite or memorable part of Sunday in the Park event is, for me, the enthusiasm and the engagement of the people after a long time. And also it was really great for me to meet some known face and to make connection with some other clients who came to the event. Thank you. And I can pass it to Mijik, who is left. Everyone gone. So I think everyone has already given their introduction.
I think everyone's gone.
Yeah.
So excellent. So we're going to now go back to our agenda. So the first item, I'm just going to zoom here to 150% so people can see it. But we're going to review the agenda, and we're going to get feedback from members of the working group on the agenda. So what we are hoping to discuss today is announcements just with regards to the next terms of reference meeting. I don't think it's August 31st. I think it's next Wednesday, September. So I'm just going to change that. Then we're going to have a discussion on the renewal of co-chairs. We just appointed Rabia, so this is going to be about Joel, myself. Then we're going to have a discussion on Sunday in the Park. And this conversation that we started off with, the check-in question, was intentional because, we wanted to also thank our partners, and we're going to do some follow-up after the event. So a thank you letter is something that we're now putting together. So we're going to be discussing that, but we're also going to be discussing what has come out of the debrief as well, in summary. And then we're going to review intentionally. Hopefully this will happen around 7:15. It's going to take a bulk of our meeting, but we're going to make sure that everyone's able to participate in selecting the 5 priorities. And we're going to finalize those 5 priorities tonight, because we're going to submit it to the funding committee as the next step after this meeting. And then we're going to do a reminder about our upcoming meetings, working group meetings, specifically with regards to space for the SDP, and also the Food Insecurity Coalition and collaboration that we're hoping to support. And then just a reminder about the next meeting, which is no longer in August 30th. It's in September. Remind me, my friends, when is our next meeting? September. Is it September 27th?
No, it's the first Tuesday of the month. This so one
we're going to revert back then to September 6th.
No, this is our September meeting, which we rescheduled to the end of August because next Tuesday is the first week of school.
Yeah, that's right.
So are we having, maybe we can decide our next meeting.
It'll be the first Tuesday of October.
Yeah. That will be October. Let's see. That's October 4th. That's our first Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the things that we're hoping to discuss. Are there items that you would like to discuss?
I just want to get clarification on.
Go ahead. Sorry, I can't hear you.
The meeting for the use of the space was going to be tomorrow morning, but I think that a funding meeting has been set for tomorrow morning. So I just want to know if I have to go to Daniel's Spectrum at.
That's an excellent question. Is there a funding committee meeting scheduled for tomorrow? I'm not aware of that.
Could we address that after the meetings? Because this doesn't apply to everybody in the meeting, but I think it's important. Michael, can you stay on after the meeting?
Well, it applies to me too, and I've rearranged everything to be able to attend. So
can you stay on the meeting afterwards, Sarah Jane?
Not long, but I'll try.
Is that okay with folks?
Yeah.
Who else does it apply to?
Yeah, it applies to me too.
Yes, it applies to a lot of people. So, okay, we're going to have to figure out the meeting time. So we'll talk about that under announcements. Okay. So why don't we just any other feedback with regards to the agenda from everybody?
Another time I can go. I've rearranged everything for that.
No, I understand, Sarah Jane. We're going to make sure we're accommodating.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't see anyone else wanting to provide feedback. So maybe what we'll do is we're just gonna, Salah, I'm gonna put you on the spot again. Could you read out the community building working group goal? We can't hear you, Salah. You're muted. I'm testing your mic.
Can you make it bigger?
Yes, I can.
Yes, sure. Okay.
Absolutely. How about now?
Okay. Community building. You want me to read the description?
The goal, yes. I want to make sure you're able to access the screen. So, and you're able to read it. So go ahead.
6 p.m. land acknowledgement, welcome and introduction.
No. The community building working group goal. So this specific section.
Okay, yeah. Create an accessible, informal, and formal spaces, event and groups that bring residents together by removing social and physical barriers. Build bridge between market and TCH residents, as well as between residents and agencies and institutions. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. So the reason why we're doing that is because it's important for us to remember our goals. So we're very intentional with the work that we do. And when you're thinking about our priorities, I want you to think about that goal as well. So the next thing is our terms of reference meeting. Now, I think it's next week on Wednesday, so that makes it September 7th. We will be emailing out this information just in case folks are interested, but we're going to be reviewing the last half of the terms of reference, I believe. We haven't made any decisions. We're going to bring those recommendations to other committees of the SDP, specifically the planning committee as well. But in case you're interested in that work. So remember, it's on Wednesday, September 7th, between 2 to 4 o'clock. Is that what you have in the calendar? I just want to make sure everyone's got that right information.
I'm checking.
Okay.
Because
I'm going to pass it on to Joel to talk about the next item. Go ahead, Joel. And this is a decision item.
You're saying, sorry, I was just trying to catch up on some stuff for the meeting logistics. So the 7th, 2 to 4 is for which? For terms of reference?
Yeah, that's a terms of reference meeting, I believe.
Out of town that day. I wrote another date. I wrote another date down, and I missed the first half because it was canceled when I didn't know it. So I'm out of that, I'm afraid. I thought you had another date written down before September 7th.
I believe this is September 3rd. I don't know if there's a meeting happening on September 7th. Sorry, maybe give me 1 second.
And the terms of reference is September 7th.
Oh, wait, 1 second. So actually in the SDP calendar, it does say it's 31st. So it's tomorrow. So
yeah, it's tomorrow.
I corrected. It's tomorrow. It's not next week.
So what is it?
It's tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm very...
Wednesday, this is August 31st.
Thank you.
So I was asking folks for feedback just because I want to make sure I got the correct information.
So in terms of references from 2 to 4 tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in the SDP calendar. So I just want to make sure people know that. And if there's a conflict, we'll talk about it later on. Joel, you want to go ahead?
One question, Wally. This terms of reference for this working group?
It's the terms of reference for the entire SDP.
SDP, okay.
Including, so everything, even what we do is in that terms of reference. We have to follow that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Tohito. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Joel, go ahead.
So this actually pertains to the SDP terms of reference. There's the provision in it that groups will rotate co-chairs of groups periodically, and there is in fact community building terms of reference as well that we did a few years ago, and which also talks about that, about rotation of leadership. So we wanted to address that today. We're grateful to have Rabia Alsabeh having joined us as a market co-chair. We hadn't had a market co-chair for some time. So she's a new co-chair. Waleed joined us a year ago, replacing Murshida as the TCH resident co-chair. For those that aren't familiar with it, in the SDP, there's these different working groups have 3 co-chairs, and one is a resident, a private market resident, one is a TCH resident, and one is from a community organization or an agency that is sort of supporting the group. And so that's why I'm talking about, say, a private market co-chair and a TCH co-chair. And so we had thought that we would, I think in the terms of reference, I'm not sure if it's actually been approved yet, but there is talk about the length of term. And actually, I'm just seeing for ours, the term is 2 years and can be renewed. It may be changed to 1 year. So we thought we'd bring it forth before the group, just for safety's sake, just to be take care of any possibilities. And so Waleed has completed a year, and he's indicated interest to continue as co-chair for another year. So that would be the first thing to sort of share with the group and get the group's approval on. I think I just put it forward to the group. Any comments or questions on this proposal? Any concerns with Waleed carrying on for another year as co-chair? Okay.
Oops, I can't find my raised hand, sorry, but I just wanted you to clarify for everybody in the terms of reference, how many years are recommended? Because I think that's the word that had been used. That's 1 and 2.
Can you say that again, Gail, please?
Yeah, how many years are recommended in the terms of reference?
Well, so that's why I'm kind of not being super clear on it. But I can go back to I was looking at the community building and it's clearly 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, it's 2 years, yeah.
But there is also this sort of broader SDP terms of reference, which Waleed is referring to. There's a meeting about reviewing it tomorrow. And in that group, there has been discussion about having it as a 1-year term. And I think that's
the other way around. But in any case,
it says 1 year, Michael.
I'd have to check, but I remembered we discussed it last week, and we were going to change it, I think, but those changes haven't been approved yet.
So that's why we have it in this year, because it says 1 year now.
So do you want me to look it up? Because
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, I think Michael's right. And this actually got past us because when this has been approved already last year. But yeah, that this terms of reference says resident co-chairs are elected for a 1-year term. Now that may be changed, but that's what the terms of reference says right now. So that's why we're bringing it to the group now. So that's the answer to your first question, Gail. Is that good?
I don't know if you said 2 years or 1 year.
So that there is a discrepancy. We have 2 terms of reference and there. So that's just a thing. We got to straighten that out. We'll straighten that out.
Yeah, I think that would be important. And then the other thing is that I think you have TCHC residents at the table. And I think an opportunity to engage those who have not been kind of in those positions of leadership or have not been kind of known in the community that bring another perspective. I'm thinking about someone who has children, who has all of those perspectives that they can also bring to the table. I think one of the challenges we have across the SDP is that we just don't have enough people. So yes, some of us have to be in that position for longer than sometimes 3 years, which means that you don't get to hear other perspectives or other perspectives coming to the table. I mean, me as a co-chair, I can't bring the perspective of someone who has a family, who has kids. And my preference, certainly even for myself, would be to have that person there if we're really looking to engage the community. So that would be one thing. And then it allows for building of capacity as well, right? Building capacity doesn't have to be a separate activity, but included in everything that you do. Those are my thoughts.
And does that bear on the question of the renewal of Waleed's term, or is that more of a broad, sort of a general perspective on thoughts around co-chairs and rotation?
Absolutely, yeah, broad perspective. But yeah, we'd have to really determine how many years. And again, the issue still becomes, even if you say 1 year, the challenge becomes, finding folks to take on that role. And sure. So you can make it attractive by, thinking about what's in it for that person for joining. And certainly one of those things for people would be, I gain a skill set. that I don't have, but I also bring a perspective that maybe others don't have.
Right, got it. Okay, so, and that is, that does bear on the terms of reference. Although I think I maybe confused people a bit as I talked about these different terms of references, but we're working with what we have right now. And so based on that, we're just raising the question of, does the group approve of Waleed continuing on for a second term of 1 year? And so far, I haven't heard any concerns. I think maybe we can go forward with that.
Yeah.
You can go forward.
Great, thanks, folks. Now, the second one is me. And so we're definitely looking for a rotation of a organizational co-chair for the group. I have made attempts to find another representative of a community organization or an agency who would take my role, and that role involves a fair bit of sort of logistical support, as well as mentoring for the other co-chairs and for the group as a whole. And so I am definitely have been actively looking. I mean, recently I haven't been as active in it, but I still am put the word out that looking for a replacement agency co-chair. If we find the right person and the right agency or organization that's able to give the support for that and make the time available. But in the absence of having found one, I'm willing to take the role on again for another year.
Yeah, I think so.
Any concerns or questions or comments about that?
No questions.
No concerns at all.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Saleh, did you want to speak? Oh.
No, I was saying okay.
Okay. So I think we will say that so with the group, I'm going to put to the group, are we approving that I continue as agency co-chair for another year?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that is a decision as well. So thanks, folks. Oh, now we have some hands. Gail and Miguel, do you want to, is this a different piece, a broader piece, or is it about the question of me continuing?
The question of you continuing. So, of course, I approve. I think, you have been stellar in this role, but of course, my concern is that other agencies are not stepping up to the plate. And this is not the only working group where that is a concern. So I would, to the agencies that are here, I would also like them to take on the role. But Joel, yeah, of course, we approve of you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Gail. And thanks for that, that note as well. Miguel.
Yeah, just want to make a point that I appreciate the transparency of this table in selecting members to continue or welcome new members to be co-chairs or chairs. Because I say this because, the Regent Park Safety Network, they decided themselves to switch roles when one of their members went on maternity leave. There was no discussion, there was no vote. So I really appreciate that this committee is coming forward in a transparent manner. So that's good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Miguel. It looks to me like we have Rabia here. So welcome, Rabia. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Rabia, welcome.
And we know, I shared with the group, Rabia, that you have a lot going on in your life. And so if you're able to join us just for a time, we're grateful for whatever time you can join us for.
Yeah, I just want to thank Rabia for joining us, but also I want to thank members of the working group for reminding us of the importance of having residents with different lived experience, parents, in the spaces of, helping facilitate this very important conversations. Rabia, We were actually looking forward to Rabia facilitating our meeting today, but something did come up, and Rabia couldn't, be able to facilitate today. But at future meetings, I'm hoping Rabia, will be facilitating meetings as our new co-chair of market co-chair. She's a parent, very active member of our community, and got recently appointed to the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group. So congratulations, Rabia. I feel like community building's got great representation of that space. So thank you so much for putting your name forward, Rabia. Really appreciate it.
Thank you,
ED representative specifically on
thank
that.
you, Miguel.
Yeah. And
so good evening to everyone. Sorry, what did you go ahead?
Go ahead, Rabia. Express yourself.
I just want to say hi. Good evening, everyone, my neighbors, friends, sisters, brothers. So thank you so much. I'm trying to do as much as I can. My husband had a surgery yesterday and now he's still in the ICU. I am busy with the kids. So I just said maybe for 10, 15 minutes, I will try to do my best to see if any way I can support the community. Meanwhile, supporting my own family. And thanks for accommodating me. As Walid said 2 weeks ago, I said, it was Wednesday when we met. And I said, it's called August 29th, I will facilitate this meeting. And then the next day, right away, I was in the hospital with my husband, figuring out what kind of surgery he will have. So you plan and God has another plans. So yes, alhamdulillah, he's fine now. He's doing well. It was very long surgery. We found he has a tumor in his brain. And now everything is going smooth, alhamdulillah. And thanks a lot. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Rabia. Thank you, Wally. Thank you, Joel.
So we're going to now move on to the next agenda item. And I just want to encourage folks to, encourage as many residents to join our working group. What we did in Sunday in the Park was not possible without the support of the community building working group. And the impact has been felt in the community until today. Like I know a lot of people were reflecting on their best experiences in Sunday in the Park, but my favorite experience was after Sunday in the Park. When I walked down the streets, my neighborhood, walk down towards Daniel Spectrum, and I'll run into people who heard of Sunday in the Park or wearing the t-shirt and were so amazed about the community coming together. So I want us to really start thinking about how we could make this event bigger and better. We did get coverage on the news. So I'm not sure if you folks saw the CBC late night news coverage, but it was amazing. They talked not just about the grassroots support that we got through Healing Us One and the youth playing a leadership role, but also the social development plan and specifically the community building working group. So there's a lot of things that we should be very, very proud about. At the end, we have something called an after party. So whoever wants to stick around for the after party and hasn't watched the news coverage, I'll show that to you. It's available on YouTube. So sorry, go ahead, Michael.
So did we settle whether the space meeting is tomorrow?
That is something we're going to have to settle under announcements later on, but I'm sure we're going to address it, Michael, 100%. So we're now going to move on to the next agenda item, which is basically quick update. This is for information. It's not for decision. We are going to be sharing a hiring committee report with members of the hiring committee that participated in the hiring of the events coordinator that was chosen by the community building working group. So just a heads up. We did have a debrief meeting just after Sunday in the Park. I believe the debrief happened on Friday. When was it? Someone remind me. Was it the 19th or the 12th? I think it was just a Friday after Sunday in the Park. And when we have Sunday in the Park, it was the 14th, right? So it was on the 19th. And there was a lot of recommendations that came out of it. I just want to quickly ask Joel to speak to some of those recommendations before I speak to the next piece. Joel, you want to go ahead?
The recommendations from the report?
recommendations that came out from debrief.
And
then the report that the events coordinator is going to put together.
So, I mean, I haven't really thought about doing that. So I'll just sort of try to remember what I can.
Yeah, and if other folks want to weigh in, Dini, Sal, whoever was a debrief, please weigh in because it's very important to document. Go ahead.
I mean, I think in general, the idea is that there's there was a lot of energy for the meeting, for the event, and that there's definitely interest in holding the event again, and doing it in a community-based way. We would need to identify a trustee. We would need to get the ball rolling, and including fundraising and budget setting and so on quite a bit earlier. So we're already sort of talking now about what are the steps that would be required for that. There was, I mean, there's a number of specific recommendations just around details. But I think overall the idea was, I think similar to what Waleed is saying, like there were the music, the entertainment was very well received. The food as such was well received. There were some logistical details that we would want to improve next time. There was quite a bit of the bouncy castle was very well received. Probably would be better to have more if we can. And the idea of having an organizing committee that had leads for different tasks is a good structure. Those are some of the pieces, I think.
Awesome. The other important piece was that we are going to start documenting and basically institutionalizing the best practices with regards to Sunday in the Park through the help of our events coordinator, who's going to be working on a report. So what we've done is we've, allocated $3,500 in remuneration to the events coordinator for the work done in the lead up to Sunday in the Park, but also for some work after Sunday in the Park, which includes putting together a document that will help transition whoever's going to be the events coordinator in the future. So we're hoping to invest in capacity building through this process to ensure that, we have all these important documents, properly kept, so that we didn't have to go through what we went through at the beginning of this year with not much documentation or information, especially budgetary information. So I just want to put it out there. We had someone raise up their hand. It's Gail now, but whoever wanted to speak first, Salah, you want to go next? Okay, Gail, go first.
Salah, go ahead, please.
Salah, you want to go?
Yeah, I was gonna say about one of the recommendations was about how we treat the food lineup. How next time we're gonna have someone to help the seniors, and we can handle that. And the other part was how we're gonna do the tent in the park so the vendors have more space and more traffic. That's one of the recommendations that we talked about.
Very great recommendation. Of course, the food was something that we need to improve on, but the numbers are amazing. From I think almost 1,400 people received burgers and hot dogs. So the turnout was phenomenal. We ran out of food, which is a very good sign. But that means we can do better in distributing food. I think one of the most thoughtful recommendations was to address accessibility needs. So folks who have physical mobilities or other barriers, that we sort of set aside food or have a process that's way, much easier and much empathetic to their needs. So a point that was well received. And I just want to say welcome Ahmad and welcome Ayan. Thank you for joining our meeting. Gail, go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought that having the setup of the games for the kids at different booths was a brilliant idea, and I think that helped with getting them engaged and excited. So obviously that brought the parents as well. Entertainment was phenomenal. And I think what would be a recommendation here is that you create a list of those entertainers, and the Women's Entrepreneur Group has a list as well that they've created, so we can combine those lists. And again, that's one of those recommendations that helps to create alignment around what we're doing at the SDP. I think that a recommendation too is around just the MCing, that you maybe have two MCs. They have a role script that they are following. I thought it was brilliant that you had Murshida doing that as somebody who has been out there doing promotions, and those guys did a phenomenal job even on that day. I think one of the things that you can see coming forward, because I decided to go do it with them, and a lot of what I heard from residents was, oh, we know about that, and people knew about the SDP, and that was just phenomenal to hear. So that's like a 360 from just like a month or two ago. And I think that's, again, something that we can capitalize on. I think there's an opportunity to look for more funding to help support that work. They're really diligent. I know that Murshida is going back to school, so we are going to lose that resource. And I think we should be thinking about and bringing to the planning table to have that resource filled. Also, you're going to lose Lizette as well. Her family structure or life has changed, so she's going to be not available. So I think that's something we could look at. I think what we could do is create a circumference of what we want to use as space, measure it out so we know how many stalls we can actually fit, because I think having the paid vendors away from the event made them seem not part of that event. I think they were also struggling with having garbage cans, and folks were kind of trying to use what they had as garbage cans. So that would help. I think, the long line for food, yeah, it's brilliant that, you ran out of food. That means that definitely there's a need, and that long line was definitely difficult for some folks. So thinking about how we can maybe give the vendors, a discount their meal or a voucher, so that people can maybe have a variety of food, I think, as somebody mentioned. And I think you need to connect with Murshida, because I think there's been some acts from her around gift cards that were pending. So those are my thoughts.
Sorry, gift cards?
Yeah, or prizes that people won.
Oh, okay, so that's good to know. I think we give out all the prizes, but I'll make sure that Ibrahim, who's our events coordinator,
check with Murshida, because I think she has a list. And then even with the bingo, I thought that you could be engaging with that by putting it on the microphone, so that the person who's announcing the numbers, everybody could hear that. I think that would have drawn people in and bringing that closer into what we were doing in the circle on the field as well.
Awesome. Gail, I wish you joined our debrief meeting. There's a lot that you shared with us, and I'm hoping we're able to capture some of the stuff, the recommendations you put forward. I just want to say, I think when it comes, sorry, go ahead. Was someone I wanted to speak? Nope. Okay, I just wanted to say that I think what was amazing about Sunday in the Park was the collaboration. The collaboration of residents from both TCHC and market, agencies, grassroots organizations, the developer partners, Toronto Community Housing, small businesses, caterers. So there was a lot of community support for this event. It was very well received. I think more raffle prizes were given away due to some last minute donations. So we made a lot of kids, a lot of seniors happy. And it also helped us create capacity, because we trusted our youth to lead this event, and they did a phenomenal job. So I just want to thank everyone that contributed to Sunday in the Park, whether you were on the planning committee, whether you attended, whether you helped spread the word, whatever role you contributed in. We want to say thank you for that. The last thing that I just want to say is it's on our agenda, but we are committed to sending a thank you letter to all our supporters. So all the people that helped fund Sunday in the Park. But I'm just gonna, put on the, I guess, on the screen some of those partners. It's also in our agenda. So Healing Us One, Toronto Community Housing, Tridel, Young Street Mission, the Regent Park Neighborhood Association, Regent Park Focus, the Regent Park Community Health Center. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Without your support, this event would have not been possible. Also United Church, TNG.
TNG is the neighborhood group, yeah.
Yes, Tohida, I hope I got that right. The neighborhood group and other community stakeholders. We just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we're going to move on to the most exciting.
Walid.
Yes, go ahead.
You know, in the Sunday in the Park, the agencies who has booked table, they had to pay $50.
That is correct.
But if the agency sponsored, they will waive from that.
Of course.
But we didn't receive actually any receipt that
Yes.
we pay $50. So actually, I don't know. And I am not sure whether TNG has sponsored. I need to find out that as well. But I think it would be better to have a receipt that we have paid $50 for the agency table.
100%. What we're going to do is implement best practices. So we will follow up with both Ibrahim and Angie, who was our lead when it pertained to that specific portion of Sunday in the Park. Thank you so much for the reminder, Tohida.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say one thing about, I think it would be a good idea to get the old organizing groups. Although, and I think if I'm wrong, I think if I'm not, so in other words, let me put it this way. I think Dini could correct me. Were you one of the members of the old organizing committees for the Sunday in the Park?
Yes.
Before the pandemic, right?
Yes, and from the from the very beginning.
Exactly. So so my suggestion is to get as much information as possible how they run. Actually, to be honest with you, the way they have been doing it was very, very fantastic. And so what I'm just saying is Dini would be our main resource on that. I'm not saying to have new ideas, that's fine, but it's still, incorporating how, the former organizing committees as well as the founders, right? And the Sunday in the Park I used to see was really very, very fantastic. So that's why I'm saying in this group, I see only Dini Peters. That's right?
Yeah, but I must say that one of the reasons I've become a member of the community building work group was because I was asked if I would lend support to Sunday in the Park organizing. So
you see, you have been, in the forefront.
And I got to tell you that one of our challenges, which we will definitely correct, is that we haven't had a really appropriate window of time to plan the event.
Yes.
So we're going to start much earlier. That was one of the things that came up in the debrief. So some of the reason why, those past events, were a little bit bigger or flashier or smart, different things were available, had to do with how much time we had to plan it.
Exactly, yeah.
We had time to get the other partners at the table and all of those things. So I appreciate your recognition, though.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I've been around.
Yeah,
I've been
thank
around.
You so much. Thank you for reminding us that we need to reach out to folks who've been part of this planning from day one.
Exactly.
Get them re-engaged. I think the intergenerational conversations that will take place between the youth and the seniors or the folks who've been around the table for a long time. I might actually call myself a senior this time. That's kind of funny. Although this is my first time with
no, don't even try it. You got to work for that.
My point is bringing people together, having that intergenerational conversation is going to be such a great learning opportunity, right? So thank you so much for that suggestion, Abukar. Very well received. The next thing that I want us to do is I'm going to ask folks to look at the chat. We're going to go through the 31 priorities because I think my good friend, Jen said there was a duplication. And we are going to make sure everyone in this meeting gets a chance to vote and participate. I do have the votes of Lizette. So I just want to let people know that I will be adding those votes at the end. Michael, I'm going to ask you to start first. Okay.
Well, don't you have my votes as well?
Yes, Sarah Jane, I don't have your vote. I'm going to take your vote in. Okay. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with Michael, and then I'm going to call on to you, Sarah Jane. But everyone else, please take the chance, take the opportunity to vote. Joel, I know, voted already. Saleh, I know you voted already. Miguel, I know you already voted. Fatiha, I know you already voted. So thank you for voting already. But everyone else, please visit this survey link and cast your choice for top 5 priorities. Okay.
Can't we do it at one time, or it's...
Yeah, we can do it. I'm gonna help for accessibility's sake right now, brother.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So then
first,
okay.
Michael, so it's documented, and then Sarah Jane next, and then whoever else needs help will get that help. Okay.
Masida's hand is up.
Masida, go ahead.
Waleed, can you see mine? Did you get my vote?
Let's see, Masida. Let me check. I can check. Back here, responses. I see another response coming. No, I don't. I don't see
Waleed, I think we are probably short on time. Why don't we give people an option? One, they can vote through the survey that you've put out, and you've shown people how to do it. And then 2, if they would like to do it here and now, they can do that.
Dad, I think that would be faster, right?
Yeah, so we'll do that right now. So let's start off with Michael, okay? So Michael, I am going to share the screen for accountability's sake so everyone sees what I'm seeing, and then we'll get started. So switch account. Okay, let's okay, I'll use this account. Michael, I'm going to use the SDP email account for your vote. Okay, Michael. No, email. Okay, and then Michael. Michael, please tell me your first priority.
I'm kind of operating under the assumption that these are our priorities for the city funding.
Correct.
So there are other things I think are priorities that I'm just not putting them forward for this particular funding.
Okay.
So in terms of this particular funding, the ones I'm putting forward are 7, 18, 8, 2, and 1.
Say that the first number?
7.
7. So I'm just going to confirm with you what 7 says, okay? Number 7 says,
Well, he said 1 and 2 as well. Why don't we start with those and then move along?
Do you say number 1?
Do you care what order they are in?
I don't care what order they're in. So as
yeah,
long
but I
as,
thought it's prioritizing.
Yeah, so number 7, it just selects your top
is
5.
number 1.
So let me rephrase that. Is there an order or isn't there?
There's no order. So just tell me your top 5.
But you're not counting the first choices.
There is a priority. So what's your top 1? What's your first priority?
See, that's what I thought the answer was.
What's your first priority?
The top 1 is 7.
So I did number 7. Here it is. Number 7. Done. What's your second priority?
18.
Okay.
We are not going to be finished by 8.
No, we will. Be patient. We're going to get it fast. Okay, 18, done. Who's number, what's your third priority?
8.
8. Okay, I see 8 here. Done. What about your next one?
2.
Very easy. Next one?
1.
Done. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to submit it on your behalf.
So in the document I had, the numbers were after the description. So I hope that doesn't cause confusion, but I'm pretty sure I got the right numbers.
Okay, let me just see if your response came in. Give me 1 second. 6 responses. Yep. Some other responses came in. And the 7th. Okay. Another response. Perfect. Okay, Sarah Jane, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, my friend, I'm going to share the screen again. And I believe I have your email address. So I'm just going to copy it. Sorry, it's grossj@gmail.com, correct?
GrowSJ at
Correct. Okay, so I'm going to put this then, and then you can let me know if I'm wrong, okay? Email, paste. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen. Okay, so that's your email.
Where is it? GrowSJ, that's right.
Undo just 1 second. Searching. Just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure this doesn't. Give me 1 second. Because I don't want it to update that old one. So I'm going to open it in a different window. So give me 1 second. Okay.
In the meantime, while you're doing that, can we do it
Put
through
it
the
in the
survey?
chat too. You can either use that link or put it in the chat. I'll try to
do it. You can do it through the survey, Abukar.
Yeah, okay.
Survey is easier.
To be faster, you know?
Yeah. So this is now the, let's see, this is the link to the survey. Okay, sorry, Jane, give me 1 second. Last chance, here it is. Let's call, here it is. Okay, here's the link to the survey. Sorry, Jane. Okay, I just put your email address. So I'm just gonna share the screen now, okay? So now you can tell me your choice, okay? Sarah, Jane, go ahead.
2319 were the same. That was my first.
Which was, what number was it?
2319. 23/19.
Okay.
Same.
They're the same, so pick one or the other.
So 19, here it is. Okay, what's the next one?
15.
Okay, I got that one.
13.
So 1 second, 15. Do you see it on the screen? 15. I got that one, correct. Next one?
13.
13. Okay, so 13 and 13 is specifically improved maintenance. Okay, I see that one. Done. Next one.
29.
29.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got 29. Next one.
26.
26, okay. So that's it?
Yeah.
Submit. Perfect. Who would like to go next?
Waleed,
Yeah.
I do think that the concern about time is an important one. It's taking about 4 minutes to get through each one of these, and we got about 10 more people to do.
No worries. I'm not gonna go through 10 other people. I'm just gonna encourage people to go to the survey and fill it out. Does anyone have any accessibility needs for tonight? Like, if I'm just trying to make sure that folks like Michael get to participate. Sarah Jane, we made sure your vote is counted.
Let's make the offer specifically to Shayna, because I know Shayna that.
Shayna, do you need help?
If she wants to. And if you don't want to do it here, Shayna, you can call me or Waleed, and we can do it for you outside of the meeting too.
Okay. So I just want to
outside sounds good. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, we'll do it after this meeting. So stick around after 8 o'clock if you need any help. But I just want to say one thing is by tomorrow, if you could please send your responses before noon. Does that work for everyone? By tomorrow at noon. So if you missed the opportunity tonight,
I think that would be better.
Will that be better for you, Abukar?
Yeah.
So I will send another email in the morning reminding everyone just with the survey link
and that finish the meeting, yeah.
And asking people to submit it by noon, because we need to pass that on to the funding committee, and we'll take some time to just make sure all those votes were tabulated and everything is good. Okay. So can I get a commitment from folks that they will be able to do it by noon tomorrow, if not by tonight?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tomorrow by noon. Yeah.
Okay, because I want a majority of the working group members to participate in this. That's great. Okay, we're now going to move on to the next item. So the next item of the agenda is.
Thank you, Waleed.
You're very welcome. I'm doing my best. We had a lot of challenges today, but I'm glad we had this meeting. Okay, so the next item is specifically related to the third floor space. So Sarah Jane, you brought up the concern about a conflict in meeting time for tomorrow.
No,
why don't we address that?
Michael did.
Michael did that as well. Michael?
I can come tomorrow at 10 to 11:30, and I've moved everything around so I can. But I think that's a conflict with that.
It's fine with me.
So let me just ask the members of this working group. Are folks comfortable with the changing media time? And I know that someone who took a lead. I'm wondering, Joel, Ishmael's not here, but has there been contact with Fareed? Is this the same sort of meeting that I'm assuming?
Well, we haven't contacted Fareed on this tour, but we could still do that potentially. But this was a meeting for us to go look at the space and sort of base our discussion on what the space looks like. And so, yeah, so we agreed that we would have it tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so it's in the calendar, and I'm going to actually share it again. It's from Wednesday, from 10 to what time again?
11:30.
10 to 11:30.
Okay. So at the last planning committee meeting, they said there was another meeting booked at that time.
Oh, so there is a clash of.
What's the clash again, Michael? Sorry. Can you repeat that, please?
They were going to do some part of the funding process. I don't even know what it was.
So in the same place that we're going to meet?
I don't think so, because that's usually a call-in.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so is that meeting confirmed, Michael?
I have no idea.
Okay. So can I ask that we stick to what we agreed to? So 10 o'clock to 11:30, because that's already in the calendar. There's an SDP meeting in the afternoon from 2 to 4 for those that want to participate. And I'm going to send an email just to remind people about these meetings, just in case. But the latter, this conflict. Who's leading that, Michael? Who's the lead in that meeting?
I don't know, but I would have probably asked Diana.
Sorry, Diana?
She's on vacation.
She's on vacation, yeah.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Fatiha.
So usually on Wednesdays, we have a meeting that happens there from 11 to 1 in the third floor. It's our women's group meeting that takes place at Daniel Spectrum third floor from 11 to 1 every Wednesday. But tomorrow they are planning a trip to Toronto Island, so we won't be meeting there tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying that, Fatiha. So helpful.
No problem.
Michael, does that provide more clarity?
No, because that wasn't what it was. So I don't care. I'm prepared to go ahead with this meeting. I just hope that people don't suddenly check out at the last minute because they have something else to do.
Yeah, but I just want to know who's the lead of that meeting so that we could connect just to avoid a conflict, okay? For those who want
you know, I don't know who else works on the funding at this point. Like, if it's not Diana, then I don't know.
It's not happening tomorrow. It's not on the calendar at all. Just to confirm that. Okay.
Right, but that may not have been the whole committee. So whatever, it's fine with me.
There's no funding. I'm a member of the funding committee. It's not happening tomorrow. So I didn't see an agenda come out from either Adonis or Diana or anyone who's taking a lead in that. Okay.
Fine, let's just do the space meeting tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. So we've got that confirmed. Okay. So now let's move on to the next item. I'm going to share the screen. So it's clarified. It's 10 to 11:30. And Sarah Jane, Michael, Abukar, Joel, Sugar, and myself are part of that group. The next piece is the food insecurity. So I'm just going to quickly talk about that. And then we'll go into other business. So Saleh, are you with us? Because I'm going to ask you, what is one of the important pieces that the community building working group does, our goal? Saleh.
They can test now?
Yes, I can hear you. So do you remember when you read out the goal, something about creating accessible, informal, and formal spaces?
Yes.
Okay. So one of those informal spaces was a coalition that came together to focus on food insecurity, specifically food insecurity in our community, but making the connections that there's food insecurity across the city, and food insecurity is not just a local issue, it's a global issue. And what happened was we were hosted by the World Urban Pavilion. Does everyone know that there's a World Urban Pavilion in Regent Park?
Yeah, well, we know. Yeah.
Abukar knows. Who's not heard of the World Urban Pavilion? Just put up your thumbs up in the reaction. So you can go to reactions and put your thumbs up or put in the chat. But who's not heard of the World Urban Pavilion? World Urban Pavilion. And I'm going to put the link in the chat. Fatiha has not heard of the World Urban Pavilion. Thank you, Fatiha, for, this is an opportunity to learn.
I just want to say, I heard this before, but I probably forgot the meaning of that.
Okay, so this is the World Urban Pavilion, and it's in Regent Park. Okay, so this is the link, and I'm gonna share the screen, but you can go to this website. This is at the launch, and you can see Marlene, you can see Ibrahim, who represented us as an SDP on the steering committee. We've got all this information that you can look up to the launch of the World Urban Pavilion, but it's in our backyard, right? And the wonderful thing about the World Urban Pavilion is be an opportunity for us to leverage, that space to tell our story, not just locally, but also internationally. So I wanna encourage all of you to, especially if you're thinking about food insecurity or you're invested in food insecurity, to join the Food Insecurity Coalition. We're going to be facilitating those conversations. We have a follow-up meeting happening soon. And what you can look forward to in the Food Insecurity Coalition is learning more about the Toronto's own food what is it called, pledge of a pledge when it pertains to food, addressing food insecurity. So it's called a food charter. So I'm not sure if you knew, but Toronto has a food charter, and I'm actually going to share the link to the food charter in the chat so that you can find out more about it. But you can find out more about the food charter, but also initiatives that are happening in our community to address food insecurity, specifically through collaboration. So that's what we're focusing on. We're also going to ensure that there's discussion on food insecurity in the upcoming municipal elections. So Food Shares collaborating with a couple of grassroots organizations on an art display. So they want to work with the community building working group to make that happen. So we're in contact with Artscape, we're in contact with other partners, and we've got some folks who are part of the planning. So if you want to join that, please do let me know. And I'm going to share that also in an email as a follow-up to this meeting. And then...
do we have the meeting date for that group again?
Well, that one happened 2 weeks ago, but the next meeting is yet to be determined. So as soon as it's determined, I will share it with the group. Now, that is our last item. But I just want to quickly show the food charter so that folks know that this exists. But please look it up. You know, it was part of, it was actually informed by a convention that Canada signed back in 1976. But it's wonderful. It's a wonderful charter. I want us to put it into practice, not just talk about it. So just read about it. It's a great resource. I learned a lot about food security and what that means by reviewing this document. Okay, so we're now going to almost our last agenda item, and then we can wind up the night, and maybe we can ask folks to quickly just say some remarks at the end if they have anything else to say. But, I'm just going to share, sorry, Jane, I'm just going to share this agenda. Our next meeting is Tuesday, October 4th, but I don't want to assume. Is everyone comfortable not meeting for the rest of the month when our next meeting is the first week of October? We're going to miss each other, but that's what our schedule looks like. Is everyone comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so no assumptions here. We're all comfortable for our next meeting. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Now it's our closing. We did it. We had our meeting today. I just want to thank folks for joining the meeting late. We had some technical glitches at the beginning, so we started a bit late, but I'm glad we were able to have new members attend our meeting. I did get some regrets from several folks who couldn't make the meeting. Adel from Healing Us One wanted to speak to permits and some barriers that related to permits. So I think that's something that we need to talk about. It seems to be an ongoing issue, so we should try to talk about access to this very important recreational spaces for our youth. So that's something that I'm hoping will be on the next agenda. That's the only regret I received so far, but if anyone else would like to share or speak, we can do so. I'm just gonna actually stop the recording and we can chat.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out all of our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.